It's so nice meeting you again. It's a real pleasure for me to come with you into a relationship of a higher light frequency, of a higher organization of light in your own mind, in the remembrance of who you are, in the remembrance that you are as God created you, and that you can choose to be interrupted in each moment to find a new reference in your own mind that will give you an idea about your spontaneous nature, about your nature of just being yourself without localizing and without defining who or what life is, who or what you are, but just being the expression of that, and to come to a closer proximity of your oneness in your undoing of conceptual thought in each moment, because this is a speed up, and this is a course in miracles. This is a coming together in an idea that you can never fail, that you can only be in this moment in a new decision of a new beginning, in a new beginning that you are the one who has the power to decide. And in that sense, I'm very happy to be here with you and to join with you and to remember together that this world is over, that this has never really happened, that never anything really happened. And we're just here to communicate in an idea of depthness in conceptual thought, in lower light frequencies, that even here we found the remembrance that this is not so. And it's a total pleasure for me to stand here with you in an ancient communication system, in ancient communication pathways that open up to you, that open up to me, while we commit to a mind training. And more so to the oneself that we truly are. Because do you remember this? Do you remember the setting? Do you remember the time? Do you remember this place? It is a place in your own mind. It's a light reflection of how you came to know who you are, how you came to experience that this can disappear in each moment with your decision that this doesn't have any hold on you, that the density of your worldly experience is not really defining who you are and is not really solid at all, even though it feels like it is an influence on you, or that it might change you, that it has a power over you, that the body has power over you. But it really hasn't. It is just an idea that needs purification for a moment, that needs a looking at what kind of thoughts and beliefs are joined in that, and you can decide to collapse into the gravity, into the weight of your own conceptual thought, into the weight of having to be a body, as the world might tell you. And in that collapse, and I'm standing at that point with you right now, where you catch yourself and realize that you do not know how to do this, or in which direction to go, or how to avoid the intensity of this moment, and just be in the flame of not knowing and entering into another kind of thought, into another kind of undoing that has been available to you since the beginning of time, and that is converting in you, that is converting you as a conceptual idea into something that you have not remembered yet, but will remember in a moment. And what it requires is, what the Course says, to admit that I do not know the thing that I am. I do not know where I came from. I do not know what I'm doing here. I don't know where I'm going. And there's no statement that the world fears to hear most than this. Yet, in this acknowledgement, in this recognition, lies the experience of who you are, because it speaks of itself. It speaks of itself, and it tells you that you are only in peace, that you are only in a state of grace. And in my momentary experience, it looks as if this is change. It looks as if it requires a constant changing and a constant being different in each moment and not holding on to whatever happens. It's a little bit like a wave that is passing through you, and you just let it pass through without grasping any bit of it and saying, oh, this is now who I am. No, because it will change in each moment, and you keep it stagnant again, and you define yourself as a particle in the world that is so much bigger than you are. This is what a dream is made out of. This, you define yourself as this, as a body. You give it a name, and all of a sudden there's a whole world around you. And you are this thing with a name, this body with a name that walks around and has serial adventures of being a hero or being a victim. And there's nothing wrong with that. All that Jesus says is this really enough for you? Does it really make you happy? Do the effects of this perception of yourself really offer you something, anything that is valuable, that really makes you happy, that really brings you into peace, and that lets you really communicate with your brothers? For me, it didn't. For me, it was unbearable how little I could communicate. Whatever words I used, whatever gesture I studied and exercised, they could never reach my brother. And this was so intolerable to me that I had to find another way. I had to find another way of communicating. I had to find a way how to transcend the boundaries that are laid upon an idea of being a body. And that comes naturally with the idea of separation, with the idea that my thoughts mean anything. Because really these thoughts have no meaning at all. They show me a world that has no meaning, and on top of that, this world engenders fear. My meaningless thoughts showing me a meaningless world, and a meaningless world engenders fear. This is not the place where I can really be happy. This is not a place where I can rest. But we can rest in this moment. We can rest here. We can rest now. Because this is a place where the spirit, the soul, who you are, gets rejuvenated and gets a taste of that there is more, and that you are the extension and expansion of your own substance. And it has nothing to do with the body. You might feel it physically, you might feel it in your body, you might feel it energetically, you might feel it mentally or spiritually, whatever, however you define all these things, right? It's just symbols of symbols. But there's something yummy in your experience. There's something that says, nice, I go with that. And whatever it takes to let that unfold, I'm in. And what it requires is that I'm stepping back. I'm stepping back and let it find its own way. That's all I can do. There's nothing left for me to do. It is already happening, despite my best effort. So, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming into this space and allowing this to occur in your own mind. Everything around you, everything here, everything that you perceive, everything that is in your awareness right now is in your own mind. And only in your own mind. You have invented this world. And as the lesson for today says, today I learn giving as I receive, I believe it is. It says that we're actually just reviewing what has already gone by. We are just reviewing how we went home, how we remember that we were all along home. So this is the yummiest moment that you could come to. Because it addresses who you are, it addresses your real need, it addresses your substance, and it doesn't ignore any facet of your being. And it does that by dissolving or letting go of everything that is not part of you, but might still be in your awareness. And here we can meet in gratitude for each other, in gratitude for this moment, for the reality, if you want, the reality of God, and the tangible tool that is given you in your own mind to remember that you are not limited, that you are not restricted. So, this is an adventure, this is a journey without distance, because it seems like we're traveling within this moment to a different time, to a different place, while nothing around us changes. We are still in the same moment, we are seemingly still in the same place, but everything gets transformed. That's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching immediate transformation. This is what I'm trained to do. This is what you are trained to do. You are a transformer of space-time, so that nothing is left over in the mind of God and in the mind of a son that might speak of a break in communication. God knows it is not so, and not a single beat was missed in the party song that's played in heaven. And see, there's no sin, there's nothing that could happen, nothing that could break that communication. It was only an idea, it was only a rumor in your own mind that it could be possible, maybe it is possible to be separate from God. And you believed in this rumor that you told yourself. It was never true. It never really happened. And now this is the exploration of this, and this is a transformative exploration of the fact of non-guilt, of non-separation. See, these are just images. It's just old images that talk to you, that want to grab your attention. But the purpose that is given this, through your admission and through your acceptance and agreement, this is a coming together in the last dream, in a dream that doesn't produce any more dreams. We are coming together in the idea that you are always yourself, that you could never fail, that you are successful now. And we, in that sense, for a moment, we require a new definition of success, because it is not definable in worldly terms, because the world does not exist. The world will always define success as an outcome in time that has been achieved through past actions and is here now for a moment and will be gone in a second. Or that can be achieved if I work enough, and then at one point I define I define a form and a correlation that fits with my values as a separate identity, and I define it as success. Let's say $1 million on a bank account or €1 million. But fact is, this is not success. If it's temporary, if it's just transitory, it cannot be success because it is lost in a minute. How valuable is the biggest worldly success if it's gone in a minute? If the joy of achieving this lasts for a day, or let's say a month, or let's say one lifetime, who cares, right? It's still limited. But success, real success, must address who you are in truth, in wholeness, in oneness. Success in time, thus, must mean the immediate transformation of the limiting thought you experience now, and the experience that, even though it looked solid and it looked like it is defining you and is restricting you, someone is doing something to you, someone is telling you who you are or what you should do, it is transcended, it is gone. So for a moment we realized that we believed in a lie, but it's exposed to the light. And there is no limit to your transformation. It just goes on. Even though if you fall flat, seemingly for a moment in frequency, we realize it's just another layer that we can immediately transform through the power of our mind and through the guidance of Jesus, the Holy Spirit. So success would always have to do with now, despite your conditions, despite your feelings, despite your energetic configuration, despite how the body formulation looks like. Success is arriving here. Success is an attempt to be here. That is success, because with every little willingness, may it be as small, however small it wants to be, however small, how little your willingness is, it is always successful because it's always used for one purpose, for a singular goal. And since even the little willingness is given to you, you are always successful because nothing in space-time serves a different purpose than that one goal. If you want, you can choose to have it now totally for you in your own undoing and in an exploration of the vastness of your mind, of the extension into another expanse, if you want, into another unthinkable. Well, there's no word for it. So if I'm talking to you, it would literally mean that it's a complete lie. It's a complete lie that I could talk to you. It's a complete lie that I could portray something to you that has any meaning whatsoever. That I could give you something at all. Because giving and receiving starts and ends here, right? There's only one mind. So transmission of mind, transmission of thought, a transmission of recognition or vision could only be within the one receiver and the one transmitter, because it's only one mind. Wow. And for a moment I have to remember that the dislodgement is nothing else but a reminder to bring home ideas that have not been addressed before, that have not been brought home fully. But we're lucky enough that we come together in a setting where the light or the energy or whatever you want to call it is so stable that we can transform anything that we come across. It is a speed up in your recognition. And the density of, well, if you want to call it existence, the density of the world only seems to crush you, only seems to crush me if I resist it, only seems to crush me if I give it reality. And it completely transforms again. Wow, thank you. This is the point where I want to come with you. This is exactly the point. Where we come from darkness to light, where you are reborn. And I'm witness to that. The world disappears. Everything was just the love that I held dense, that I held static. Now everything speaks to you, because there's one message, and everything, just one message. You are my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. There is nothing to fear. You are sustained by the love of God, because you are only love and your source is eternal. This is a dream that is over in your own mind. This has already gone by. It just serves for you as a record in the archives to go deeper into the reality of you, because there is only one mind, and that is you. We come into communion in this moment with each other. There is a greater joining. You can let the world disappear, it's okay. Because you're not alone. This moment is alive. And it's more than we ever dreamed before.